Hi, Carolyn. I'm Bonnie Beresford. We've talked on the phone a few times, but we've never met face to face. I signed up for your July 2012 Waterhole Rituals course, and the purpose of this video is to show you where my horses are living now and introduce you to them and give you some idea of what their daily life is going to be like now. Up until May of this year, a couple of months ago, for the past 3 years, my horses have been housed in a paddock with a shelter down by the arena and the barn and the other main buildings on this facility, which was really convenient for me, but it wasn't ideal for them. So a couple of months ago, I had them moved out here. And I want to now show you this property, which stretches out behind me, give you some idea of what it's like, and show you where and how and with whom my horses are living now. This area, the back 50, is about 50 acres or so, and it's got pastures, a couple of pastures, and it's got forests, it's got a pond, it's got wetlands, it's got paths all through this area, and the horses use the whole part of this area. So I'll just take you down the road and give you a little tour of this area, and we'll go find the herd, and I'll introduce you to them and to my horses. I'm just inside the main gate into the back 50 where the herd lives. This road will go behind me up to where the horses are. And I just want to show you that there is a pond here. The horses don't spend a lot of time here, so it's not really their water hole, I guess you'd say. They are watered from a couple of watering troughs up here behind these trees ahead of us. And I'm just going to go down this road now and show you where they usually hang out. This is where the road continues straight ahead, and the path diverges into the biggest of the two main pastures. And there are the watering troughs there. This is the pasture that the horses spend most of their time in the summertime. It's a little bit higher. I call it the high pasture. It's breezier, and there's lots of good shade with the breeze, so the horses can get away from the flies and get a little bit of relief from the sun. I'm going to go up over this hill because I think that's where the horses are right now. But this is their main pasture. The property continues in this direction for quite some ways. As I suspected, the horses are up here. They're usually up here at this time of day. They've been resting, and when they're finished resting, they're going to go out into the rest of the pasture and they're going to graze some more. We'll go up a little bit closer and I'll introduce you to some of them. This mare here is Rhoda. She's the alpha mare, or the lead mare. She and her buddy Haas, a gelding, are the longest members of this herd, and they pretty much make all the decisions. Now those two golden girls over there with the white mare are my two halflingers, Folly and Chance. And that little Appaloosa is a long yearling. His name is Toby. He's only been here a week. He hasn't fully been permitted to be part of the herd. And my two are most enthusiastic about chasing him away. And that handsome fellow there is Haas. He's Rhoda's boyfriend and the number 2 man in the herd. The little gray is Jimmy. He's Rhoda's 3-year-old son. These two golden girls are my halflingers. The one closest to us is Folly. She's 15 years old, and she is Chance's mother. Chance is 3. She's the one I'm going to be focusing on mainly for the course this year. She has a lovely temperament, very open, very ready to learn things. I've worked on Folly quite a bit, but she has a lot of baggage. She's very herd-bound, does not like to leave the herd, is suspicious of new things. where Chance is curious and bright and very happy to try things new, although she can have her timid moments as well. Here's another view of the area where the horses tend to spend most of their time in the summer. There's some good shade here. There is usually a very good breeze coming from that field over there through here, and the horses spend a lot of time standing here under the shade of the tree with a breeze that keeps the bugs down. There's lots of places here for them to interact and for me to sit or to walk around and spend some time with them as well in reasonable comfort. That is the road that goes down past the pond on the right to the main gate. So this is the herd that my two are now living with. There's about a dozen, mostly the same population, but it does vary from time to time depending on who is boarding their horse here. But most of these horses belong to the owners, and so they have been here for quite some time. All right, this is the next day, and I'm up at the same place where I was yesterday, and the horses are not here at the moment, which is convenient because it means that I can go down this way and go into the next pasture, which is what I call the meadow, and I suspect that's where they are, and it means that I can show you another big chunk of this area. So I'm just going to head down that way and we'll pick up filming in a minute. So that's the cooler part of the corner of this high pasture where the horses usually spend the hot part of the day. They're not there right now. Over there is where the road comes in from the gate, the main gate that we came through. Over there would be the pond and the wetland over there. And we're at the far end of the high pasture now. And that's the road that connects the high pasture to the meadow. I think that's where the horses are, so we'll head down that way now. We're closer to the herd now, and most of the horses have seen me, and they're my two girls. They've seen me and they're coming over to say hello. And so this is what the meadow looks like. When I come into the meadow, and I've located the horses, I usually find a handy tree nearby where I can hang up my stuff. The horses will get into it. And then I usually walk around and say hello to everybody. As I suspected, the herd is heading back down the road to the high pasture. When they get there, they'll probably go over, have a drink at the watering trough, and then end up under the trees again. They've taken a side road into another part of the wetland. This is what I call the equivalent of the horse's water hole, because even though it isn't a water hole, this is where they gather and spend much of their time in the summertime. This is actually one corner of the property. And if you follow the fence line straight ahead through there, there's another roadway which goes to what I call the meadow, which is their second pasture. You'll no doubt see that in some future video. But this is where they spend most of their time, and the best pasture is here. And there's Jimmy again. He's a very friendly boy, a little too friendly. Good boy.